everybody, welcome back to Idiot Proof Cooking. So before I get into what I'm making today, I just have a quick shout out for a buddy of mine named Riley. It's his birthday today, and I just wanted to say happy birthday, dude. It's really cool. He's been remaking some of the stuff I've been showing on the channel, and he's doing one hell of a job. His mom has been sending me photos of all the different things he's making, and he's a friggin' natural. It's really cool. But anyways, like I said, happy birthday, dude. But anyways, let's get into what I'm making today. I felt like doing some baking, so I'm going to show you how to do an awesome chocolate chip cookie. And not just like your standard ones. I'm going to show you how to make like a nice, thick, gooey one. And then, you know what, I'm also going to show you how to make what I'm calling a reverse chocolate chip, which is a chocolate cookie, but with white chocolate chips in it. It's pretty cool, and they're like crazy tasty. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start making some cookies. Now, similar to a lot of recipes that I show on this channel, you're going to start off with a large mixing bowl, like I have here. I feel like I say that almost every episode. And into the mixing bowl, we're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. As you can see, I had it packed in pretty tightly there. Then add in a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar and then a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. Now I didn't melt it, I just let it sit out at room temperature and cut it up into cubes. What you're going to do is then get your hand mixer out and mix these all together until they're combined. Now the reason why I'm using room temperature butter rather than melting it is I find if you melt the butter, the cookie will just like spread out more when you bake it, and it gets a little bit more greasy, so it's better to use room temperature butter and mix it in that way. And once everything is mixed in, get yourself a large egg and crack it into the mixture and then pour in a teaspoon of vanilla paste or vanilla extract. Then get your electric mixer once again and mix these until combined. Now it's time to add in your flour, 2 cups of all-purpose flour to be specific, and pour that in. And then I'm going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. From there, I'm going to get my electric mixer one more time and mix this all together. Once you mix it all together, you're going to find that the dough is kind of loose and almost like a wet sand consistency. But that's what you want. Like, see, this is what it looks like. It's almost like crumbly. And that is exactly what you want because it's like a wet sand, like I said. So when you press it together, it'll form a nice thick cookie. Then you're going to add in 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and give them one final mixing together with either your electric mixer, or you can just mix them by hand at this point in time. Either works fine. But regardless of how you mix your chocolate chips in, you're then going to get yourself a baking sheet and line it with some parchment paper and start forming the cookies by hand. Now, as you can see, I'm making fairly large ones here and just pressing them in with my hand, but that's what we want. We want these nice thick ones, and the recipe I've just showed you is good for 6 super thick, like really nicely sized chocolate chip cookies, like you can see I've made here. So once they're all on the baking sheet, I'm going to throw these in the fridge and let them cool down for about an hour. This is going to help them, stay intact when we're baking them and not spread out. Now, while those cookies are chilling, I'm going to show you how to make the reverse chocolate chip cookies, and it's pretty much the exact same recipe, only just slightly different. So again, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1/2 a cup of unsalted butter, room temperature, and diced up into cubes. Mix those together with the electric mixer, and then break in 1 egg, 1 large egg, break that in, and then a teaspoon of vanilla paste or vanilla extract. Again, then once that's in, you're going to mix once more with your electric mixer. Now here's where it's a little bit different. Instead of 2 cups of all-purpose flour, add in 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, and then add in a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. These are going to be chocolate cookies after all. Then still 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Put those both into the mixing bowl and then give it another mixing with your electric mixer. Now, instead of using chocolate chips this time, I am going to use white chocolate chips, and that's, like I said, so it's a reverse chocolate chip. Instead of it being a white cookie with dark chocolate chips, it's going to be a dark cookie with white chocolate chips. I think this is just going to be fun so that there's a little bit of contrast, normal chocolate chips and reverse chocolate chips. But same with the original ones, get yourself a parchment lined baking sheet and form these into 6 fairly large hunks of cookie. There you go, like that. And then similar to the original ones again, throw these in the fridge for about an hour to harden up, which will help prevent them spreading out when you're baking them. So after about an hour, here we go. They're both nice and hard and they're ready to throw in the oven. So you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to bake these for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes until they come out nice and golden brown, but they're still soft like that. Look at that. Oh my God, those look so good. Oh man. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these cool for about 5-10 minutes before I put them on a wire rack. So there we go. I'm starting to put them on a wire rack. Now, if you want them nice and melty and gooey, this is the optimal time to do it. But I am going to let these cool down completely for a couple of hours before I crack into them, just so I don't burn the roof of my mouth. But take a look at that close-up shot here. How gorgeous are they? They look so good, and they're so big. They're so big. I love this. So it's been about 2.5 hours since I made these, so it's time to go in and taste test them. I'm going to try both of them, obviously. That just seems self-explanatory, but let me give you another close-up shot. Look how thick and chunky that is. Oh, and man, it's nice and soft on the inside, and the chocolate chips are still a little bit melty, even though I let them cool off for a few hours. But let me tell you how good those are. They are so rich and delicious, and the insides of them are just nice and soft. Now let's try these other ones. I've broken it in half and still just like nice and soft on the inside, and it's got a different taste because it has the cocoa powder in it, and the white chocolate chips are obviously sweeter than the dark chocolate chips, but this is really good too. Like, these are fun. These are really fun. This was a fun little creation, and they are so sweet and delicious, and I just love how big they are. Oh man, they're like a meal in themselves, how much they are. Oh, these were really good. You should try making these at home. I think you'd have fun making these, and they were super easy, super easy. But anyways, that is the end of the episode, like always. If you like what you saw here, why don't you drop me a comment, or like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching 80 Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.